NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR, perfect for race fans, and by Toyota.
Green flag is in the air. Short track racing from Richmond.
Whoa, look at that on the right. They get together coming off turn 2.
Four wide and they hit the wall. Nowhere to go. To the outside, trying to get by Haley for the lead. Got him pinned down. New leader at Richmond, Justin Allgire. Here comes Haley battling back. Not enough tire to fight him off. Allgire's going to win again.
Heck yeah, awesome work.
We just had the luck we needed, but luck is opportunity meets preparation. We were prepared and the opportunities came tonight and we did a good job.
Good exciting racing last night. Expecting to see more today. Leading the field today is the official pace car, the 2020 Toyota GR Supra. That thing looks good, guys.
Let's take a look at our starting grid for today's Virginia's for Racing Lovers 250. Field is set by the results of yesterday's race with no qualifying. The top 15 are inverted, putting Tommy Joe Martins on the pole.
How about Matt Mills there in third? Second best finish ever in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, we saw Brett Moffitt there. What a great run he had. Ross Chastain here, very strong last night. He's starting beside Austin Cindric, who many have as the favorite here this afternoon.
Harrison Burton back there trying to rebound from a terrible run last night. He knows he can do better than that.
Look at Jeb Burton. Jeb all the way back in 21st. Had a broken wheel last night. Was running 5th before that happened.
Mike Snyder goes to the rear, going to a backup car after an early accident yesterday evening. Get to ride along with some of the drivers today with some onboard cameras still, Jared.
Yeah, let's take a look at what we've got here today. First will be Justin Allgire, last night's winner. He'll be coming from 14th today with Sonic on board, and it'll be a side banner. We'll get to watch him as he's trying to make his way to the front. And our other will be with number 10 car, Ross Chastain, the Nutrien Ag Solution helmet cam here today. So should be a lot of fun to watch this as he maneuvers through. Always exciting with Ross, and he's got 4 second-place finishes. Is he going to take this helmet cam to victory lane here this afternoon?
Yeah, he really wants to get a win. A lot of top 10s this year, no wins. Let's get a couple more updates down on pit road, starting with Parker.
Well, Dale, that car right there on the outside of the front row, the yellow one, that's Brendan Jones. He finished 14th last night, so gets to start on the front row versus the invert right there. And last night they came in with an entirely different setup than they'd ever come to Richmond because he had struggled before here and just never was able to get the handle on that car. Well, last night it didn't work either, so guess what they did? Wholesale changes once again on that 19 car, trying to find the handle, Marty, here at Richmond.
Same story for Chase Briscoe, and he'll admit Richmond is not his racetrack despite their season success so far. Talking to Richard Boswell, his crew chief, he said if we could change it on this car overnight, we did it. We changed everything, throwing something at it. We got to get it figured out how to get better at this racetrack. So trying a little something here for the 98, and with all those wins chalked on the board already, you can experiment a little bit before the playoffs start.
Yeah, one more look at the playoff standings as we have 2 more races in the regular season. Justin Allgire with those playoff points he gained. He's gained a lot just in the last few races, and that's what's important. That's what you got to tell your drivers with today's race and then next weekend at Bristol. Playoff points, try to get as many of those as we can as those follow throughout the rounds of the playoffs going to the championship.
Hey, listen to those guys make all those changes. Is there anything more exciting, guys, like from a final practice to changing everything on your race car for the first lap?
Well, after the way they ran, I think I would be all for that. And I like my crew chief to be aggressive in such a manner that, you know, they're going after it the same way you want to go after it on the racetrack. Let's listen to the 11 team here. A little bit of a pep talk.
Hey man, I'm very proud of you. Proud of you for what you did last night. Very proud of this group. Yeah, simple. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Proud of all you do. Let's go get number 3. Close last night.
Getting him pumped up, trying to get his driver to victory lane. Pace car heads to pit road. The flagman waves the green flag, and the field comes up to speed, and we are underway for the Virginia. It's for Racing Lovers 250. Already 3 wide. You see some of these guys trying to take advantage of the invert. Got a few drivers up here that typically don't start toward the front. Well, contact almost there with Tommy. The 44.
But Brandon able to clear him. Now Brandon Jones has the lead. Know where he was starting. That was expecting. That's what he was expecting to happen. Chase Briscoe there in that 98 car. come battling. I think this is an important part of this run here, guys. I know it's early in the race, but remember last night, competition cost on lap 40, the same thing today. One less set of tires today, so our team's going to be able to pit on lap 40? Probably not, so they're going to have to save a little tire right here.
Yeah, and Chase Briscoe's been one up there in the second spot as we look out from Allgire's car here. But Briscoe's been one of the best. When we've had these double headers, they've made good adjustments and come back to run very well in the second of the double header.
Not many tracks on the circuit where you conserve tire. Usually these tires are so durable, you can just go as hard as you can right from the drop of the green flag. But there's a few tracks where you can save a little bit. Just don't run hard and push the right front off, or don't get in the gas too much on corner exit and burn the right rear off. There's ways to really make that tire last a long time, but that's only if you don't get the yellows, like in last night's race. Justin Allgire did not get the yellows and was able to make that work. The short run cars like Justin Haley, though, are hoping to get those late yellows because they're so quick on the short run.
See, Riley Herbst, he's lost 4 spots since the start of the race in that 18 car. Justin Haley just went by him, and you know, if I'm Riley's spotter right now, I'm just saying, hey, look, we're okay. It's a long race, long way to go. Just don't burn the tires off of it right here. That's the fastest car from last night, right in front of you. See what you can learn.
Yeah, we saw Riley go 3 wide in the middle of turns 1 and 2 just after taking the green flag. That cost him, as it turns out. But there's a lot to be gained from riding there behind Justin Haley, who once again looks like he has a really good car. And he talked about not being on the brakes as much. If you can make your car drive just a little bit better, then you don't have to apply as much brake, and that's going to help you have better tires at the end of a long run too.
DJ, that black number 18 car, Riley Herbst, we were talking about as we watched the battle for the lead between Brandon Jones and Chase Briscoe on the left. We saw the Gibbs cars absolutely struggle. Kind of as a whole across the company, they went a different direction today. So far, working out. Brandon Jones up front, Riley Herbst sitting in 10th. So patience early for these young Gibbs drivers as they try to feel out a brand new setup versus what they had last night.
Hey, guys, one thing I think is difficult about that is when, you know, compare that to what Justin Allgire is doing. Justin is building and making small changes on his car where these guys are making huge changes. So, Junior, you mentioned it. Try not to take off quite as hard. But if you're not running 100%, you don't really know what your car is doing. So that makes those next changes that are so important, it makes them difficult to decide what you want to do.
Little contact there to the back of the 39 car. Sieg, Casgrala getting aggressive with Sieg. Sieg's not a guy that I think takes that too well. He'll give it back.
Yeah, Kaz doesn't get many opportunities to run, though, so he's ready to go forward and do all that he can do. Show everybody that he deserves a full-time ride in this series.
And there's been a lot of talk about this track being low groove dominant, but I saw last night in a lot of the race Justin Allgire making that second groove work, making time and speed up there and passes up there. Be curious to see how that works out today in the afternoon race. This track changes a lot, Jeff, from afternoon to night.
It does. Do that battle for position you saw right there. That's typical Richmond. Entering turn 1 is very wide. You get under somebody, and they take a big arc, and they think they're clear, but they're not, and it frustrates you a little bit. And I think that's what we saw with Casgrala, kind of making a little bit of contact there with Ryan Sieg in that 39. Parker, what do you have on Kaz?
Well, Jeff, you mentioned a little bit earlier ago about following Justin Allgire, you know, because he won the race yesterday. Well, Kaz did something interesting in last night's race in stage 1. He followed Kyle Busch. You know, he thought, well, if I follow this guy who's been so successful, I'll learn more about saving tires and how hard to go. Well, guess what? At the end of stage 1, he saved so well following Kyle Busch, he passed him 3 wide into turn 3. Said that was a pretty cool moment, but from that point on, I knew exactly how to save the tires. He had a great top 10 run, Marty.
Mark, I want to tap into the driver wisdom we have in the booth today. It's been interesting. It started cloudy and cool. Now you see the sun has come out as Chase Briscoe tries to track down Brandon Jones. So drivers, I'm curious. It seems like the times have fallen off about a 10th or so since the sun has come out. So, Jeff, how weather sensitive is Richmond? And if the sun comes out today, how much is that going to change the race?
It's very weather sensitive, and you've got to keep up with these changes all day. It's going to get warmer as this day goes on, and that's going to continue to pull grip out of the racetrack. So if you're already tight, the front of the car is not turning the way you want it to, that's probably not going to get better. So you're going to have to just stay on top of it and try to be ahead of all the changes that the track is going to go through.
Yeah, that could open up the second lane here, I believe, guys. The
yes.
running here this afternoon, if the sun stays out and this track continues to heat up some.
See right here, good battle.
Okay, we could have put Brandon Jones out front last night at the start, and he would have not stayed in the top 10 for more than 3 laps. They've made some great changes to this race car for the driver.
98 car, Chase Briscoe, rolling right on that yellow line. You can actually put the left front tire right on that paint and find a little bit of grip, especially down here in 1 and 2. Try to get to that paint, keep that left front right on it. See them using that strip there, helping their car turn a little bit. Justin Allgire using the higher groove like he did yesterday. I think that is also a great way to save drive off. You roll into that high side, get the car turned and run a straighter exit, so you're not turning and mashing the throttle at the same time, which tends to bust the rear tires loose. Pass for the lead. Let's see how Jones is going to fight this. Not at all really letting the Briscoe go on by. He's got a couple more cars coming up behind him. Kaz Gralla having a great run early in this race in the 21 car.
Yeah, Kaz Gralla, he gets a sniff of that front. He's going to go for it. Doesn't get a chance to race a lot. Right there, that's rear drive. That's the rear tires being hooked up, leaving the corner off of turn 4 and being able to turn underneath somebody. That's what you want. That's what you want as a driver at Richmond. Rear drive on the exit of 4.
Great racing early at Richmond here. Chase Briscoe leads Kaz Gralla into second place. We'll be back with more.
NASCAR Drive is your live race day companion. Follow your favorite drivers with high-definition in-car cameras. Select up to 8 different cameras, or you can choose a multi-cam view with 4 at one time. Visit NASCAR.com/drive or download the mobile app today.
Chase Briscoe continues to lead. Tight little battle here with the top 3. Gralla, Gregson there in 3rd. Guys, you talked about Brandon Jones starting up front and how the changes they made on the car has improved. He's fallen back outside the top 5, racing side by side for 6th position with Michael Annett. Battle for 2nd here with Noah going to the inside of the 21 into turn 3.
You know, last night I thought Noah Gregson, I thought he intentionally did not go hard at the start of runs, and he would get a good run. You see Kaz crossing him back over off of 4. But I thought that strategy worked well for Noah last night. But today, he's decided he's not going to do that. He's going to run harder to start this run.
Yeah, I don't know if the 9 car had the speed that they really needed yesterday. Looks like maybe they've improved that car just a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly helps you when a teammate has done well, and you can kind of gather from that. You have that ability to talk with them and know exactly what they had.
Well, the telltale will be the guy back there in fourth as he closes in on this lead battle. Justin Haley had the best car in yesterday's race. Really good speed for about 60, 65 laps, which is about all you want. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. You don't expect it to go longer than that on green flag runs, but as he closes in on these top three, we'll see if he can knife through there into the lead.
Now, that's when the drivers have to take over. You have to do something. You know, your car's that good and can go for that long. Then you have to take over as a driver. That's why when you go down the list of winners at this racetrack, you don't see many what you would call upset things. That's the drivers, I think, that have experience, understand short track racing.
Marty, you got something on that 11?
Well, and they know, Junior, they have a terrific car from last night, but they also know they have a very young driver as we got a battle for the lead. Noah Gregson looking underneath Chase Briscoe, like he's going to get the spot, but Briscoe holds him off for now. But here was a conversation about the 11 team needing to be patient early in the race.
I just said quick time by a lot.
Faster by a good bit, so just stay patient for me. I'm going to stay on you about that all day.
Getting the young driver to be patient. Meanwhile, Junior, the battle up front. Noah Gregson looking for the lead.
Man, this is impressive. Noah taking it to one of the top teams, one of the top drivers, Briscoe, with 6 wins this year.
9 left that lap. New leader, 9.
That's a spotter. Giving his driver some pep talk, some confidence. We're watching you, buddy. Proud of what you're doing.
Junior, you're the owner there, but Noah came out, when we came back to racing, he was so strong. He looked like that he was kind of in charge. I know Chase Briscoe won a lot of the races, but Noah was right there, but has since fallen off. They need to get a little bit back before the playoffs start here.
Yeah, it's the ebb and flow of the season. And we see that in the Cup Series. We see that in the Xfinity Series where teams are strong and they fall off. And it really matters, I guess, who's going to peak at the right time, and that's during the playoffs or right now. You know, you're leading into the playoffs, creating some momentum. So you definitely like to see the teams like that 9 car and that 7 car improving at this particular time of the season if you're the owner.
Kaz Gralla making a move on Chase Briscoe. It's got to feel good. Chase Briscoe in that 98 car has been one of our top contenders all year long. So if you're Kaz Gralla, here you are. Limited times in this car, and you're up here racing with the weekly contenders. It's got to be a confidence builder.
What an amazing job he did in Daytona at the road course, filling in for Austin Dillon. Oh, he gets a little bit loose into turn 3. I've seen that movie before. It didn't end well for me back in 2008. But that's such an easy thing to do on the inside, trying to make a pass. You get impatient. You push the car into the corner a little bit harder. The entries to both turn 1 and turn 3 are very loose. Being on the inside of somebody, you've got to check that right rear and get into the left rear corner panel of your buddy and send him in the fence. Marty.
Junior, this is a fun battle to watch for second place, and Justin Haley about to join the party, maybe make it 3 wide. But I think if you're Chase Briscoe, considering that you had nowhere near a top 5 car in yesterday's race, you kind of wholesaled the changes to go out, lead 13 laps, battle up front here in the top 5 as we're approaching the competition caution. I think they're pretty happy with where they are. They may lose second here to Kaz Gralla, but they have made major improvements to this 98 car. And Jeff, whenever you take a step in the right direction like that, you got to feel good.
Yeah, that's for sure. Anytime you can apply something, you know, everybody get together and talk about what needs to be better, then actually make those changes. We talk about every week how teams are making changes like it's just easy to decide what you're going to do. Those are difficult decisions. And when you make those decisions and they're correct, that's a good sign everybody's working well together and is competent and get it done.
Man, 21 and a 98 are racing hard. Chase Briscoe not wanting to give up that second spot, and I was wondering how they were going to navigate lap traffic. Looks like Chase is willing to go 3 wide here.
Yeah, Kaz didn't do a good job of blocking him there. He could have had that. If he just moves him up the track just a little bit, could have probably got that spot. This is great racing. Now they're 3 wide for this second spot.
Oh, man, Justin Hayes is going to take it in there. I thought he would back out. He's going to take it into the inside of Kaz Gralla. Still 3 wide off turn 3.
Look at that grip that 11 car has on the bottom. That's so hard to do, to pinch the car off that much and still get that much grip. Gets tight into 1.
He just takes it. That's pretty awesome driving there from Justin Haley. that was a lot of patience. I know he made it 3 wide, but he didn't take anybody's line, run anybody up the racetrack. A great, smooth, clean pass by the 11 car. Gets around 2 guys there, and Justin Allgire follows him through.
Yeah, so easy in that situation. Either the entry into 3, which was his first move 3 wide, to kind of get that left front down on the apron, and then that shoots you up the racetrack and creates a lot of problems. So really good job by Justin Haley there. You can see here comes last night's winner, Justin Allgire, following him right through.
Justin has a really good race car. Looks like he may be either running harder in the early part of the runs than he was last night, or has improved that short run speed on the 7 car.
And maybe pushing really hard right here because he knows the competition caution is going to come. He wants that one spot. Right? Competition caution will come out here any moment. So go ahead and push. Try to get that spot, give you a better lane choice on the restart.
What's interesting about today's race versus last night's, they had 5 sets of tires in Friday night's race. Some teams were trying to, and there's a yellow for the competition caution. Some teams were trying to save a set of tires in yesterday's race to have an advantage late. Well, now only 4 sets of tires. Now what do? You still have that competition caution. You got to bolt on a set right here.
I don't know if you can bolt on a set right here.
Gosh, man, how would you?
All right, I guess you got to stay out there on the old tires. Get the driver fired up. Looks like a lot of guys got some tires sitting on the wall. They might be thinking about putting those on, fellas.
Yeah, just remember, you put a set on here, then you have then you've got stage 1 ends, and you put a set on there. That's 2 that you've gone through. You know you have another one coming, right? Then you've used them all in that second one. You've used them all, so it's be hard to put them on right here.
And we saw this yesterday. Some teams did not come down pit road and put on tires, and were barely able to stay on the lead lap to finish stage 1. So I'm sure some teams will try that strategy again, just because we're 1 tire short, 1 set of tires short.
Well, we talked about down there, those guys trying to make these playoffs, right? So Jeremy Clemens, right? Why wouldn't you come in here and put on tires, maybe try to get some points? Some guys like that maybe have an opportunity to do something that aren't necessarily here to win the race, but they're here to try to gain some points.
There you go.
Yeah.
The pit road was open, but we got no takers. Guys are going to stay on the racetrack to finish the stage. We're coming back.
Noah Gregson leaving here at Richmond Raceway. 2 race wins already this year. Leading this race, trying to get his 3rd. Getting ready for these playoffs. All right, guys, here we go. Nobody hit pit road. going to 75, which would be the end of stage 1. Who was riding? Who was saving tires? Get ready to find out now. We got a little short run to the end of stage 1.
9 car takes the outside line for the restart, controlling the field. I'm with you. Who saved tires? Who was riding? Waiting on this caution to bunch the field back up to try to take advantage of these last few laps. Run hard to the finish and get the stage win. Wide already. Chase Briscoe to the inside of the 11. He's going to clear him. Wow.
Allgire to the lead.
Great race and wide. Oh, almost 4 wide here. Austin Cindric smartly backs out to keep from spinning Kaz Grala.
And imagine that, Ross Chastain's in the middle. Well, he's on the outside of all of that, looking down.
That took a lot of patience right there from Cindric.
Yeah, I think trying to win that regular season championship is really in his mind. Not making any mistakes. Later in the race, he might force the issue a little bit more right there in that same situation.
Haley back around Briscoe for 3rd.
Briscoe didn't have the kind of run you would expect him to have last night as well. One of those teams looking to bounce back. You can see that 10 car, we know he's going to be aggressive. Ross Chastain at one point was 4 wide last night on a restart.
So Gregson putting the pressure on his teammate, Justin Allgire. Maybe Justin doesn't want to run quite that hard. Trying to save steel just a little bit. You can burn the tires up. Hurt yourself for the final few laps of this stage. Just got to be careful here. 10 car on the inside of the 98. Chastain had a great car yesterday. Got the fence off of turn 2 on a restart. Didn't seem to have the speed after that. Rolls that bottom right on that paint, keeping that left front on the paint for grip.
I think Ross showed a lot of patience in those first 40 laps there. He didn't go forward quite as much as what Allgire did and his teammate Justin Haley did. So maybe he has a little better tires for this run to the end of stage 1 here. Parker?
Well, DJ, as we watched Noah Gragson sort of try to get to the back bumper there of Justin Allgire, you know, and it may look like he's going a little harder than Justin. That's by design. Talking to David Ellens just before the race, he said last night one of the biggest things we learned was that saving the right rear early on a run didn't pay off. So today we made some changes on the car and we told him, go hard early. See if we can get there and see what kind of speed we have at the end. That's what he's trying to do in that 9 car. He's doing, obviously hanging right with the 7.
You know, that's what we talked about earlier, guys. We talked about how last night Noah didn't push the issue on the starts, would give up spots. And he had good speed at the end of runs, but gave up so much track position, it just wouldn't work out for him. So, change of plans. We're going to take the fight to you right off the bat. That's way more fun as a driver, I can promise you that.
Yeah, it's more his style also.
Yeah.
Not as much fun for Allgire to look in the mirror and see nothing but the windshield of that 9 car right behind them. Justin Haley seems to be just sort of observing this battle in 3rd place.
You also wonder, I hate to put you in this spot, Junior, but you also wonder how much trust there is, right? Those 2 cars and drivers, they've had some bouts this year. They've had some situations, and, you know, this is one of those times in a race where when you're leading the race and the guy is all over the back of you, you know, you have to trust him a little bit. He's not just going to move you out of the way. And I feel like Justin has given him a lot of trust. He's got that high arc into turn 1. And that's an easy place where Noah could drive in there a little bit too deep, but Noah didn't do it. Noah was very patient with his teammate.
I'm not feeling a lot of stress right now, but if this was 5 or 10 to go, I'd definitely be more worried.
And these 2 drivers, both Allgire has 9 stage wins, Noah Gragson has 8. So they know how to get it done here early in these races and know how important that point could be to them as they move through the playoffs.
Justin Haley just sitting back there watching this battle, Marty.
And 21 to go before a playoff point is on the line here in stage 1. And Justin Haley, under the last caution, made an interesting observation about the 7 car. Listen.
Still think me and the 7 are leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else, so I think we're just racing him. I mean, I'm telling you, he is really free on entry, so he can rotate the center, so.
And Justin Haley feels like that's his weak point, and he said he feels like the 9 car of Noah Gragson, also maybe his teammate Ross Chastain behind him, using their stuff up a little bit too early. So we'll see if Haley is right, 20 to go here in stage 1.
Yeah, the 9 car did run pretty hard early. It'll be interesting to see how that fares over the next several laps. Looks like these cars are starting to spread out just a little bit. We're gonna take a break. Great racing here. You guys aren't gonna miss a thing. We're gonna go NASCAR nonstop. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway. Justin Allgire continues to lead as we close in on the finish of stage 1. The top 4 remain unchanged with Gregson, Haley, and Chastain. Watching a great battle right here on the track. 21 car, Kaz Grala. Austin Cindric trying to race and get around the 39 of Sieg, putting the pressure on him, getting down into turn 1.
Yeah, remember, guys, we saw that 21 car, Kaz Grala. He was contending for the lead not long ago. And now he is falling pretty far back. Racing Cindric, who you would expect Cindric to be further to the front, but Kaz Grala, you have to wonder if he didn't try to make too much speed early in that run and he hurt those tires.
Austin Cindric back there, and that would be the 11th position, saying he just does not have the drive off in that colorful PPG number 22 back there. Doesn't have the drive off that he had last night. But DJ, you hit the nail on the head earlier. Talked to Brian Wilson earlier today. He said, we have one goal, win the regular season championship today, and that is it. They came in plus 67 over Chase Briscoe. Right now, plus 64. If they leave, plus 61 today, they are the regular season champions. So DJ, if I offered up 15 playoff points, if you kind of played it conservative all day long and you got to go to Bristol and just have fun next week, I think you'd figure out a way to try and win the regular season title today.
Yeah, certainly important. Means a lot. You never know when those points would come in. It's hard to tell a driver that wants to be on charge all the time and knowing that you've got another race that you can make that happen too, but no reason to take any chances.
Ryan Sieg battling on the inside of Chase Briscoe. Sieg started in 4th position. Still racing inside the top 10 here, battling for 8th. Great run for that 39 team.
Let's go a little bit further back, guys. Sieg clears him, but look at this 51 car. We talked about him, Jeremy Clemens. Right now, you see Brandon Jones getting underneath him, but remember, he is 13th in points, 35 points back. He's the guy that I said, why not pit? Why not pit earlier, put some tires on? As good as his car is, had he put tires on, could he have driven up and be in the top 4, top 3, and get some points to narrow that gap? Now, would that have hurt him later in the race? Maybe, but you got to get points when they're in front of you. When you're behind somebody with only 2 races to go, you got to get aggressive. I think they missed an opportunity here where they could have gone and gotten some points and stolen some positions from Brandon Brown.
Back up front, Justin Allgire starts to stretch his lead over Noah Gragson. Parker?
Well, Dale, we might know why when we were just taking a listen. About 5 laps ago, Justin had this to say on the radio.
I mean, when it's time to go, I can go. It's too early.
It's fine. You're doing right there. Right there is good.
Well, I love this. I think this is so cool about this place in the daytime, right? These drivers are almost trying to plot that strategy when you go, and obviously with about 10 to go in the stage, he decided it was time and started to drive away from Noah Gragson, almost getting to about a second lead at one point.
Now, I've had some great race cars in my career, but I never got to have that when can I go conversation. Not that good. Marty, what you got?
5 to go here in stage 1. Austin Cindric said, how many more laps? I think I have a right front going down. These tires wear out quickly at Richmond, but Jeff, can you limp it around and be patient and try and take care of it if you feel like the right front's going down with 4 to go?
If it's going down, Marty, that would be really difficult to make 5 laps. If it were, maybe he's feeling some, maybe it's quartered it, meaning part of it's coming apart. He's damaged it by overheating it or something. But, if it's going down, it'd be hard to make that many laps.
We did have some tires cored on the right front in yesterday's event on the first stage. That typically improves over the course of the run. And then when we talked about it at the start of the race, there wasn't any rubber down on the racetrack. Could see some high tire wear in this first stage again today.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like that the tire puts down a ton of more grip for these guys. And what we're seeing, it's wearing these tires, but I'm not sure how much better it's going to get throughout the day.
You're sitting here watching Ryan Sieg and Jeb Burton. One of the things that Jeb is disadvantaged with is that he didn't get to run the whole race last night. So he didn't learn as much about his race car as some other people did. So this next change is going to be extremely important for the 8 car.
Jeb's done a nice job, though, of working his way up in this first stage. Got himself up in the 8th spot right now. So that's got the Junior Motorsports half of the top 8.
Final lap of stage 1. Justin Allgire, if he hangs on, this will be his 10th stage win of 2020. His 7th playoff point of the weekend. That's what you got to do. That's what you need to do as a driver, closing in on these playoffs. Justin Allgire off turn 4, sees the flag. He'll get the win. Stage 1 is over. Justin Allgire was able to use that long run speed yesterday to get the win. It seems like it's working again today. Hoping to get another checker flag and continue to race into the playoffs.
pit stops after stage one underway here at Richmond. Justin Allgire with the win. Justin Haley finished third in that stage. He said, I'm wicked loose on entry, and in the middle of the corner, I am way tight. He said, I just cannot rotate the corner like the 7 car can. Changes to free up that car in the middle of the corner, Parker.
I know, and Greg said in the middle of your screen, pulled away there after getting 4 tires. Just struggling turning the center. Was pretty excited, though, about finishing second there. Same for his teammate Justin Allgire, who also couldn't turn the center, but easily keeps the lead off pit road.
See, Ross Chastain picked up a spot. Haley lost a spot. Jed Burton up 2. Come right back to Richmond. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans.
Dak Prescott and the Cowboys visit Aaron Donald and the Rams on the premiere of Sunday Night Football. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern with Football Night in America, only on NBC. Download the NBC Predictor app for a chance to win $100,000 in the Sunday Night 7.
Well, on 1 to go. See all the drivers picking their lanes. Be sure not to hit that orange box. So they decide if they want to go to the bottom or the top. 2 teammates leading this race. Allgire and Briscoe have been the fastest 2 cars. 2 Burtons in the 3rd row. They have driven up from the back. Let's see what they can do. Now that they've got some track position. Allgire giving that throttle, guys, just a little bit. Get those rear tires heated up, ready to launch on this restart.
Yeah, notice he chose the inside there.
Oh, he spun the tires. He's going to have some company now.
I'm not sure if he spun the tires or missed a gear. Maybe really odd.
Yeah, from where we were at with the camera, look, now that put him in a bad position right there. He might have went too early trying to anticipate everyone around him, but I don't know. I thought he spun the tires just a little bit. Easy to do here, this wore-out racetrack. Even on stickers, there's not a lot of grip trying to put the power down.
Justin Haley, see back there in about 5th place. He was under assault. He was able to get it gathered back in. Jam was in his back bumper a little bit. Had him loose off the corner. Haley, a nice recovery. Really good job.
Yeah, speaking of nice recovery, that 20 car, Harrison Burton right there in front of him. What a difference. Changes they made, just outstanding. He's drove his way up here and now inside the top 5 in stage 2.
And Jeff Burton in that blue number 8 car. Oh, a little battle right here. Chastain leading this race. Allgire wants it.
Yeah, these two guys, not the best of friends. Had a few run-ins on the racetrack. Look how much Allgire gives him into the corner. Just not even trying to drive into the corner with him.
Right here.
Yeah, I think that little bump was just a little, hey, I know you hit me down there in turns 1 and 2 on that restart.
Yeah, I mean, it's short track racing. I got you. I think the 7's sitting back there trying to save a little tire early in this run, hoping that will come back to help him try to run that 10 car back down later. I don't know if you'd give Ross Chastain too much of a lead, though. He's hungry for a win. Imagine all the top 10s and all the expectations coming into this season for the 10 car, and Ross, and no wins. I would have lost that bet.
Let's go take a look what the drivers are seeing. Great shot right here, Justin Allgire. I love this racetrack, one of my favorite racetracks. Just watch and see what he's doing. This front straightaway, you never get straight. You're constantly turning the car. Now the entrance into turn 1, you got tons of options. You can enter high, you can enter low, but you want the left side tires on that yellow line right here, trying to drive off straight off of turn 2, DJ.
Yeah, and that's your goal, and not overcharging turn 3 as you get here, so you can stay down on that yellow line. Get that drive off where you can drive straight out to the wall. You've got the wheel straight in the front. That gives you a good launch there. And as you said, you got a lot of options getting down in here into turn 1, but your best option is to stay as low as you possibly can here. Get the drive off, and as we look out up there, Ross Chastain doing a nice job with his car also.
Yeah, the entries at this racetrack are really loose. Traditionally, there's not much you can do to your car to help that, so you just have to put up with a little bit of free getting into the corner. Just slow the car down. Don't drive in the corner, and don't overdrive the corner and miss the bottom. Get that left front down here to that yellow line. Put it on the yellow line. There's grip there. Get off slow and low straight down the back straightaway. You drive like you have an egg under the gas pedal, between your foot and the gas pedal. Try not to break that egg. Just really easy on the throttle. Try not to spin the tires up to the flag stand.
Yeah, we talk about saving tires, right? We keep saying that. Well, how do you do that? And I think the way you do that is you don't slip the tire, meaning don't take it past the point of grip. Don't make it mad. Don't overheat it. And that's what Justin Allgire is doing right here. I don't think he's just riding. I think what he's doing is he's trying to make lap time by being smooth, being easy, not over asking too much of the tires. And that's the driving style can save some tires, can help some tires. I still say the setup has more to do with the driver, but the driver can certainly influence it.
Yeah, and we'll go away from the Xfinity Series, and tonight you'll see somebody that I think's the best at that is Denny Hamlin. He doesn't overcharge the corner like you were talking about, Junior. He doesn't apply a ton of brake, so he's not heating up the front tires, especially the right front. So there's a lot that you can do in that respect, I think. How about it, Parker?
Well, DJ, when you take a look at the leader, Ross Chastain, at the top of your screen there, earlier in the race, he was on the splinter, but when it came off that car started to come to life. But right now, they're watching we are, and that is that he's driven really far away from Justin Allgire. Take a listen to his radio.
I'd back him down by 2 tenths, Tyler. I'm telling you, he's really hard on the right rear right now.
So, you don't want to go too hard. You don't want to hurt that thing too much. You know, sometimes when you get a lead like this, it might just benefit you to ride a little bit. Meanwhile, for Justin Allgire, who won last night, has talked about how he knows what time it is or when it makes sense to go. Easy for me to say. Well, he just had this to say on the radio under the last caution. Take a listen.
And it's just all about knowing when to hit the button, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part. I don't even know that I still know when the right time is, but I just knew, like, pushing the pace there at that restart wasn't the time, you know?
Yeah, we've been making good choices so far.
He has been making good choices, and then the team reminded him, you know what we did so well last night? We didn't let anyone push us to run faster than we wanted to. I think the 7 just biding his time right now, Marty.
Well, Parker, those two radios play perfectly into what I was going to mention, saving tires, and you guys talked about it a minute ago, drivers, but I want to read you 3 quotes I heard from spotters to drivers. One quote, do not race him. Another quote, don't push it right now. And another quote, save it, save it, save it. As we ride on board with Ross Chastain here, how counterintuitive, DJ, is that as a driver? You hear that in your head constantly. Don't push, when you're normally hearing push, push, push. And that's normally your mentality at every other racetrack, not here at Richmond.
Yeah, well, they're coming off a place from Darlington just last week that you had to kind of do the same thing. You've got to respect that. And you saw what won the race last night. So if I'm hearing that from a driver, I would, or as a driver from a spotter or the crew chief, I would take heed to that, because that is what wins at this racetrack, especially with this tire combination here during the afternoon.
And DJ, not only did it win the race last night, the truck race also was a race where we had long runs. We didn't have a lot of caution. So if you're entering race 3 at a racetrack and you've seen a trend, you need to pay attention to that. You need to decide, you know, that's, for whatever reason, that's what we've seen. And it's really smart to take all that information into account as you're basing your strategy on how to win this race. I think so many times fans at home think that you win races by just going to the throttle quicker, driving it hard, doing all those things. That's not always the case. There are racetracks that works very well. There's other racetracks that you win more with your brain than you do with your right foot. Good battle right here. Brett Moffitt with a really good run last night, battling Brandon Jones.
Yeah, Moffitt didn't really, matter of fact, he fell back in that first stage. But I expected a little bit more, but you can see it looks like they made a little bit of adjustment maybe for the afternoon, that they didn't get it exactly right. Having a better run here in stage 2. It's a great battle here.
Yeah, you wonder if it's, you know, that's not hard on tires also, guys, is where Brandon Jones stuck on the bottom right here. You know, that's really asking a lot out of your tires. Finally going to clear Brett Moffitt.
Got the lead battle up top. Looks like Chastain's taking some of that advice, maybe backed up a little bit to the 7 car of Justin Allgire. We'll just have to see. He's just taking it easy, or has he used up some of his car and losing a little bit of that speed?
Yeah, you just have to believe that the way he took off out of there and got that lead of well over a second, Justin Allgire just sitting there biding his time. That's the main thing was that we heard was, don't let somebody else determine what you're going to do.
Watch this in-car camera. Look at that. Look at the car lead. Look at the back of the car shaking around. That car has gotten loose. That car, if you watch him enter in turn 3, watch the back of that car. See that movement right there? He's gotten hard on those rear tires. Let's see if he can make it. Keep this lead for the end of this stage.
I see what you're saying. A little bit of movement in the back of that car. The car's got good yaw to keep the car turning. That means the rear kind of hung out as he goes around the corner, and you can see that well off the roof cam. I love those roof cams to be able to see how the car in front of you is driving, how it's handling, what they're fighting. But I'm really surprised that Chastain is getting off the corner as straight as he is, and that is a disciplined driver. He could get in the gas harder, spin them tires, get the car sideways, but he's not. He's really doing a great job of being disciplined and getting the car straight off the corner as possible.
We're going to go non-stop. Ross Chastain leading this race. No wins so far this year. He was a guy we all thought was a contender for the championship, trying to get some wins, doing everything he needs to do right now in Richmond. back to some great racing for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Virginia is for racing lovers 250. Go inside the headset with access to NASCAR Scanner for only $4.99 during the playoffs. Listen in on pit strategy, spotter communication, and what crew chiefs and drivers say throughout the entire race. Log into the app to use on mobile devices. Visit NASCAR.com/scanner. Look at this mess, guys. Riding along this great helmet cam. Got her back this weekend. Thanks to Nutrien Ag Solutions. Ross Chastain working himself through all this lap traffic.
Got to be patient here, trying to get through the lap traffic, and you can see him here at the throttle. Real easy. Maybe not even wide open until right before the flag stand.
Patient till outside quarter. Clear, clear.
I mean, if you mash the gas harder than that, it's just going to spin the car out. I can't overstate just how slick it is. Trying to get off the corner and trying to get power down. There's way more power than you have grip.
I was running second here one night, DJ. Right here, I throttled up. I thought, man, everything's good. Next thing I knew, I was looking at turn 4. The wrong way.
Yeah.
Crew chief's like, what happened? I said, I don't know. Like, it came around on me that quickly.
Yeah, I spun out right at the flag stand one time. I'm like, man, I've never spun on a straightaway before.
Yeah, but it's really not straight, so you could tap that and say that you really didn't, because it's just the way that it makes the car. I mean, where you try to power up and get off of turn 4 here, and you're still turning the entire time. It looks like you've got plenty of room to do it, but it happens so quickly. We've all done it.
Marty, what you got going on down there, bud?
Jeff, it's a fun cat and mouse game with these drivers trying to figure out when they can go and push it and when they shouldn't. Here was a conversation with Justin Haley and his team.
Sure, what's to happen is those two get too far ahead and we can't catch them. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that too. At the same time, I mean, depending on what he's saving, it might be a good gauge of what we'll have at the end of the race too. I know the last little stint here is going to be longer, but you know what I mean.
And I think Justin Allgire has decided it's time to go. He's challenging Ross Chastain for the lead, guys.
Same thing he did last night. Gets everybody stuck to the bottom. And I'm going to tell you the difference. Ross Chastain, he'll change his lane. He is not going to let Allgire just simply go up on the outside of him. Both of them would rather run the bottom, but if you catch somebody slow enough in the middle, you can jump up on the outside of them. Still 31 to go here. It's a long way at Richmond.
And I don't think Justin Allgire wants everybody to realize that that's working that much. So he keeps it to just whenever he needs it and doesn't give you a full view of it, that I could go up here and run some pretty good laps for a good long time if I really wanted to.
And see now, we were watching on the roof earlier how straight the 10 car was getting off the corner. Now it looks like it's a little bit harder for him to even do that. The car bobbled just a little bit off turn 2 and really swinging the back off turn 4. It gets harder and harder the longer they run, especially without these yellows to kind of cool the tires and take temperature out of the tire a little bit, let the tire chill out.
Hey guys, I got a question as these two battle for the lead right now, but when we see the 98 of Briscoe and the 22 of Cindric struggling here, and even though this track isn't exactly like Phoenix, is it some concern because it's the same tire, but when you see the 10 and the 7 who very well could be a part of that championship 4, does that make some concern?
You know, I don't know, because you see that 19 car at the back of the screen, Brandon Jones, he won Phoenix in the spring on this tire, and they haven't come close to running in the front. So I'm confused about what this tire means at Richmond versus what it means at Phoenix. That's really confused me.
Justin in the 7 car adjusting his line, running a little higher in turn 3 and 4, and that to me is a sign of, hey, I don't think I can get it done on the bottom. I don't think I can beat you rolling the line you're rolling. But he is making some great time now on the outside of this 10 car. Will he get the room?
Oh, he didn't get the room. Chastain took that lane away from him. Now Allgire, that's going to force Allgire to be a little more aggressive.
A great job by Ross right there to get a good run off of turn 2. That's tough to do with somebody on your right rear quarter right then.
Ross needs this stage win. He's only got one stage win this year. All those top 10 finishes, all those great runs, one stage win, 15 second place finishes in stages in 2020. He does not want to finish second in stage 2 here. Doing a great job hanging on this lead.
Allgire had that spot off of turn 4 a couple laps ago, lap and a half ago, and Ross just kind of ran him up to it. Oh, loose right there, Chastain loose. But you can see, even though he was loose, not a ton of grip for Allgire to just go up there and take advantage of it.
That was a good job by Ross Chastain right there, not to run up to the lap car there too quickly and lose a lot of momentum, which would have allowed Allgire to maybe get underneath.
Look at this, look at this.
Big run.
Chastain really loose on the exit of 4. Allgire able to jump on the outside. Let's see if he can carry enough speed. He's going to turn left, trying to get underneath him.
Low and straight here on exit. Low and straight. Low and straight.
A little contact.
Low and straight pushing.
Now they're side by side heading into turn 3.
Inside. You're good. Just you and him.
That's good fun racing. Way up the racetrack, though. Chastain's not going to give it to him, but Allgire taking control. That's fun racing.
Chastain sends it down into turn 1.
Yeah, look at him working the wheel.
Man, that car is loose.
Yeah, we saw it loose 15, 20 laps ago. We knew it wasn't going to get better.
Yeah, when it's loose like that, you have to almost get in the corner lower and straighter.
Yeah.
And that hurts the middle so bad. Really makes the car not want to turn the middle no matter how well it's handling. Parker.
Well, Dale, that's something actually Ross and I talked about yesterday, and he said, you know, they get better at this place. I watched a lot of film of other drivers and saw that the really good ones had cars that were almost uncontrollable on entry, but somehow they managed it. Then I talked to him today. He said, did you look at my hands yesterday on entry? I said, yeah, they looked like they were going to the right. He goes, oh, yeah, they were going way far right. I needed to tighten it up on entry a little bit more. I think they got that done maybe halfway, Marty, but not all the way for the Ross Chastain.
Hey, Parker, a moment ago, DJ was bringing up the point. This is the tire for Phoenix. The last time the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series will be able to race this tire that they'll run with in the championship race. As you watch Harrison Burton get around Noah Gragson back there, battle for third. And that's a really good point you brought up, DJ. And I was asking both Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric's team about that. The one driver they do not want to see in the championship for, the guy leading the race right now, Justin Allgire. They feel like he is so good at Phoenix, and you mentioned it, the 98 and the 22, who have dominated the season, maybe not as good as the 7. So that's what happens in this format. You get 4 drivers in. The driver who finishes the highest at Phoenix, the championship race, wins the title. Justin Allgire will be a massive threat to win that championship if he can make the championship 4.
Seen great racing here at Richmond Raceway. That's going to continue, and you're not going to miss a thing as we go nonstop. Let's take a look at the Toyota driver update. Harrison Burton started 15th. Terrible night last night. Running third right now, Parker.
Right, Jeff, and they did wholesale changes for all the Joe Gibbs cars. They were not happy with their speed yesterday. And earlier in this run, when Harrison Burton was running around 6th, he complained the car wasn't turning well enough in the center. Oh, we got an issue on the racetrack, guys.
Backing down, caution is out. Caution's out, still coming in.
Oh, that caution coming out right before the stage in. 11 laps to go before the end of stage 2. Colby Howard, some contact on the right side.
Head back now.
Let's go back and see what we have.
Man, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, already up in the wall.
They talked about how these cars can really get loose on the entry to these corners. It's exactly what happens then.
Yeah, it's hard to see what happened. Surely, it's too much speed for whatever reason getting in the corner.
So what do you do now? You got a couple of guys that might come down pit road and get their tires and ride to take the track position when the stage is over?
Yeah, this is a tough call right here. I mean, I think, you know, remember, you were going to award points at the end of stage 2. Only 10 laps to go. You almost got to come and assume everybody else is going to come with you. I don't know with this many laps on tires if you could hang on even for a top 10 finish for people that pit. This will be a tough call.
Yeah.
Let's listen in to what Justin Allgire and his team are talking about.
You one's got to stay, don't you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I think a few are probably going to try to flip-flop it here. You know, they pit here, but I don't know. I feel like you stay.
There you have it. Let's see if they're lying to us, though. You know, they tend to do that. Sometimes they'll publicly say what they're doing, but they all know that that's not really what they're doing. We don't have Steve Letard up here to tell us what they're really thinking. Here we go. Pits are open. 10 car on pit road, 20 car on pit road, 18.
Oh.
Some staying, some pitting. Here they come, Marty.
Well, this is going to be fun, Jeff, with 9 to go in the stage. Probably get the green with about 7 or 6 to go. Riley Herbst coming in terrific in the 4th position right now. He said, I think we have car enough to race with them. Let's do the opposite of what the leader did. That's exactly what they did coming down pit road, Parker.
All right, Marty, and his teammate there, Harrison Burton, on the right side of your screen. Very happy with the car late in that run, turning some of the fastest lap times on the racetrack, running down the leaders. Ross Chastain said the right rear is hanging out too far. Just couldn't get it to hook up, and it looks like the 20, Harrison Burton's going to win off the cars coming down pit road. He'll be the first on new tires.
We've got some new tires coming on some old tires when we come back. See who can get this stage win. All right, here we come. We're coming to 1 to go. Drivers are going to start picking which lane they want to be in for this restart. Let's see what they decide.
That could be interesting.
Wow, both the cars took the inside line. You'd think with teammates you'd have some sort of agreement worked out to start on the front row together, but that's going to put the 9 car down a spot.
Yeah, the first car on tires is going to restart in 8th. See which lane he ended up picking.
Man, that's interesting, especially on old tires being kind of tied down to that inside lane. Kaz Gralla on the outside gains a spot. I think that's a great deal for him. Great opportunity for him to
Ross Chastain should be interesting and fun to watch here. He chose the outside with those new tires, and that's where I would have gone with a good opportunity there, because you're tied in if you take the bottom.
Yeah, he's jumping on that outside, making it 3 wide, making it 4 wide. We saw that last night. He just hopes he doesn't get pinched into the fence off turn 2 again.
Yes.
Yeah, he will go out there to get those spots.
Yeah, he went to the shortest lane. See right there. Look at him laying back. Got to be careful not to lay back so much. NASCAR will not like you for doing that. But Ross Chastain in that outside lane. Get to the start-finish line. You can change lanes. Can't do it until you get there. Chastain rolling it outside. It's going to be interesting right here. There'll be 3 wide getting into 3. They got cleared up. Justin Haley in that outside lane. You see Harrison Burton on the inside. He was the first car on tires. That outside lane has turned out to be the way to go. Get bottled in right there. You see Jeb Burton now jumping on the outside. And here's Chastain battling Allgire.
Yeah, it means a lot to him. He's only got 1 playoff point, 1 stage win.
Yeah, but Justin Haley, he's going to make it 3 wide on the front straightaway. Good racing.
Justin Haley to the inside of that 10 car off turn 2. Can he stay there? Yes. Side by side into turn 3. Teammates racing hard. Really, really important stage point up for grabs here between the 2 of them. 2 laps to go.
It's really hard to keep the car on the bottom of the racetrack right here if you're Haley. Briscoe's done a nice job of getting up in here in the top 4 as well on tires.
That's the thing about teammates, man. If you're on the outside, you can really be aggressive and crowd your teammates to that inside line. He's your teammate.
Final lap.
Oh, that was impressive.
Oh, big run right here by Haley. Let's see how aggressive he gets in turn 3. Haley to the bottom. Drives in, trying to keep it on that yellow line. Close contact, almost contact right there. Jeb Burton trying to take advantage of it. Ross Chastain.
Way to fly right there. Keep it cool. Keep it cool. Hayden.
It's the 2nd stage win of the year. Well, that was a fun end to stage 2. We got more coming. Ross Chastain get that 2nd stage win of the year. Built playoff points.
Stage 2 wrapped up. Ross Chastain with that important playoff point in the bank, and everyone who did not pit at 142 coming down pit road right now, including Michael Annette, who's had a terrific day. He got 5 stage points in stage 1 and barely missed out here in stage 2, getting some stage points. He finished 11th. He said the car just will not rotate in the center. So tough to pass out there. The rest of his JR Motorsport teammates on pit road in front of you, Parker.
Right, Noah Gregson said he just burnt off the tires too early in that long run there. And then Justin Allgire at the bottom of your screen said he did his best on that, getting into the stage there and losing some points. The team said you did a great job because they were all going to do what you didn't do. That's the only way they're going to beat you.
Many times being the leader is a disadvantage when that caution comes out at the wrong time. Let's see if Justin Allgire can go take the lead back.
All right, today on NBCSN, 4:30 Eastern, IndyCar Series pre-race. 5 p.m., we got the IndyCar Series in Mid-Ohio. It's going to be a great race. 7 p.m., Cup Series Countdown to Green. You have to watch that. 7:30 tonight, the Cup Series playoffs resume. And at 11 o'clock tonight, we'll have NASCAR America post-race show. We'll have all the news, notes, and answers right here. Look at the points earned today. Most points earned so far, Kyle, we got Justin Haley with 17, Ross Chastain, Allgire, the 2 Burton boys showing up big.
Yeah, look, today's been a little bit of a different day, but we've still seen Justin Allgire up front, but you see those points there. These points are critical for these guys moving forward to be in that final seeding position when we get to the playoffs. And let me just say this. Brad did a great job reading the river right there. That's something new for Brad, and I just want to say thank you, Brad, for reading the schedule for the day. Great job on promoting our shows.
I appreciate it. I had no idea, but I'm glad to do it. I can read, so it worked out very well. And, but go ahead. Like you're saying, those points are so critical. The only way to really gain points on your competitors once you get to the playoffs also is having those stage points. So guys got to race really, really hard. The tire seems to be throwing off a little bit more rubber, just a fraction more than we saw last night. So that's making it somewhat more feasible, but we'll see.
Yeah, exciting finish to that segment right there. I'm going to say that those guys got 10 hard laps on their sets of tires out there right now. Burton.
Yeah, you guys are right. It's going to be interesting to see what the penalty they're going to have to pay for starting on those newer tires and how much did they abuse them. We saw a great race to win the end of stage 2. But the price to be paid for that is you've hurt those tires, and now you have new tires coming from behind. How long will it take for Noah Gregson, Justin Allgire, for those guys to get back up here to the front?
Yeah, I think they abused them quite a bit. We won't find out here in the first 15, 20, probably even 30 laps, but it could show up in a longer run.
Pace car heads to pit road. Flagman's got the green flag. Green is out. Back up to speed. Again, stage 3, 3 wide. Jeb Burton through the middle.
Jeb with a really good restart. Great forward momentum on the front straightaway. Made it 3 wide. Now Haley on the outside of 3 wide. Not where you want to be. Oh, contact. Allgire trying to work his way up through the field. Got it to the side of the 18 car. There's those new tires, guys. Here they come.
just see, even now, Allgire with those new tires, being able to put his car exactly where he wants to and taking that chance. Because we've got a battle for the lead here.
There's Jeb Burton. Drives underneath Chastain. Takes that spot, clears Chastain.
Austin Cindric into the second position now, trying to take second. Gets back in behind Chastain. Cindric not real happy with his car when this race began. Made a lot of changes on that team, on that car today, trying to make it faster. Seems to be improving as the race goes on. The 7 car to be inside the 98. Chase Briscoe takes that spot away for 4th.
This will take a lot of discipline right here, guys. That 7 car's got newer tires, right? So if you try to pace to him, you're running too hard on older tires. If you can keep up with him, you are hurting your tires, and you're going to have to ignore him. You're going to have to let him go.
And guys, we watched Jeff Burton pull away in the lead there. What an awesome run for him. As you mentioned earlier in the race, Jeff, they had an issue last night. It was a brake issue. Had to come behind the wall and didn't get to run the whole race. But also, it's a big deal for that 8 team. You know, we've watched this car have multiple drivers. Daniel Hemrick has run in it at times. Dale, you drove it once. Since in the last 15 races, they've had 9 races with issues or crashes on that 8 team. What a great comeback for drivers that are part-time and a team trying to get a solid race to go out here and lead at Richmond.
Yeah, the one thing I guess I worry about is can Jeb contain himself leading this race and do what he needs to do to manage those tires. We know that he's got a fast race car. He doesn't get a lot of,
I'll answer that. He's not saving anything. This is Jeb Burton's moment. He's out front at Richmond leading this race. He's going to put as much distance as he can, stay up front as long as he can. You have to understand that that's what he wants to do, show that he's capable of doing that and hope that he gets a caution flag at the right time to put on some more new tires.
So here's Noah Gragson. He's on tires. He's trying to work himself back up through the field. Has not gotten through there as quickly as Noah did. Again, you have to wonder if that's not part of his plan, part of his strategy. He's squeezy on those tires taking off.
You know, sometimes that's good and bad. I think that you can take it too easy here. I would, you know, you don't want to go full bore, but do like Allgire did. I mean, Allgire's got a great car, but get past some of these drivers with your new tires. Take advantage of that and then be able to ride with them in your mirror. Let's listen in on the 7 car.
Make sure you leave something in the tank.
That's in where I am. I think this is just a difference of 10 laps right here.
Good.
So what he was saying right there is that, you know, the crew chief and everybody can see the 20 get by the 98. Everybody can see how he's gaining on the leader. And so they're giving him that information. Hey, man, slow down, take it easy. And he's saying, I am. The speed is in the tires. The speed is that I have new tires. I'm not pushing too hard. That's great information from Allgire and great information from the team as well to remind your driver there's still a long way to go in this race. Do not put us in a situation running too hard right here.
Yeah, you talk about the 8 car running hard, trying to put distance. You know, we haven't had a caution in the final stage the last 2 races here, and with the way things have trended today, I don't know that we will have another one. So the potential there is not very high. So I think for Jeb, it would be smart for him to understand. Obviously, the 7 car's on better tires. Who are you racing? Are you racing the 7 car or the other guys behind you? Once the 7 car gets here, I don't know how hard I'd work to keep that lead.
I agree with that, but we can all think back to when we were this age trying to make our mark. Could we be told anything other than, hey, if I'm in the lead, I'm going as hard as I can?
I didn't know anything about saving tires back then when I started the Xfinity Series. Parker.
Oh, guys, I think the team is trying to implore that on Jeb right now. They've been telling him to slow down and giving him updates on exactly how the 7 is running. Obviously, it let him know maybe a little bit newer tires, but even as far as to say what the 7 is doing differently entering the corners, how he's releasing the brake, they're giving Jeb all that information because they know the position he's in. He wants to go hard, but you got to hold back, have some patience.
Well, one thing about Jeb, guys, is he works exceptionally hard at bringing partners into this sport And I can promise you, it matters to him to be leading this race because of those partners, right? This TV time, this is stuff that he has been trying to make happen for his partners. And leading races is what everybody wants to do, right? When they sponsor your race car, they want to win. And so when you can put your guys up front that help get you here, that's what it's all about as a race car driver, is you do it with your partners, as Allgire jumping on the outside. And this is when, Jeb, at this point, to exactly what you said, Junior, forget Allgire. Forget him right now. Race your race. Just let him go. There's no way you're going to hold him back with those new tires.
Justin Allgire takes the lead. Jeb Burton second, Chastain, Gregson. We're going to keep you here, though, nonstop. Coming up. Leader Justin Allgire still pacing the field. Lost Speedways, the new Peacock original documentary series. I host that with Matthew Dillner. We go around the country uncovering lost great racing history, racetracks, and we find their story. We find out what they meant to those communities. All episodes of Lost Speedway are streaming now. They're free, exclusively on Peacock. Let's take a look at the 10 car here. Let's go on board with Ross Chastain as he's trying to race and chase down Jeb Burton. The helmet cam here. A little bit lower entry. He's using that yellow line a little bit, and the apex for the 8 is much later around the corner. Gets a little bit better exit than Ross doing that. Oh, he misses the corner a little bit right there, and Ross is going to run up on him, gain a lot. Have a chance to pass here off turn 4.
Now Ross Chastain. Jeb gives the spot, just gives it up. Smart move right there. Chastain's had a fast car all day. This corner right here, turn 3, guys, takes so much discipline. If you drive in the corner too hard, You lose that yellow line, and then you can never get it back. You've got to be so disciplined on the speed that you carry into turn 3.
Yeah, turn 1 there, you can see how wide you can get in there. Make a big arc. You can still get to the bottom. And it kind of tricks you, this racetrack does. We're talking about this entry into turn 3. It looks like you want to make that arc into turn 3, but you just can't do it. You can make the arc down there, but you're not going to get back to the yellow line unless you really slow the car down. You see Ross still working the steering wheel a lot, but doing a really nice job. And I have to give him some credit as you see him driving straight into the corner here, not arcing it quite as much, but rolling around the bottom. I think he backed off whenever Jeff Burton got to him, let him go on, and now has saved his tires and has taken that second spot back.
2.5 seconds ahead of Chastain. Justin Allgire, the leader. 10 lap better tires as we continue green. Battle right here. Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric for 6th position. Harrison Burton having a much better afternoon than he did yesterday. There's the pit laps for all the cars in the pylon there. 153 for your leader, Chastain at 142. So if we don't get a yellow, that's going to be a big advantage. Marty.
We've told you the goal coming in for Austin Cindric and the 22 team today, clinch the regular season championship, and Austin being very patient, maybe a little too patient on the racetrack. Listen on the radio.
You've pointed more people by this weekend than I ever have in my life. Copy that. Well, maybe they'll return the favor someday. Respect your optimism. You're doing what you need to do. You got to give the get. We're 11 spots to the good on the regular season for the big picture.
So Austin just letting people like Harrison Burton by because they know they're 11 spots good for those 15 bonus points, and there you go. If he leaves today at Richmond plus 51 or 61 rather, he clinches the regular season title. So they are good on the championship. That's their goal. Can't let too many people by, but Austin Cindric certainly playing conservative here late in the race.
I respect your optimism. That's the line of the day.
I wouldn't lay awake at night thinking about those drivers that may repay the favor, though.
You're right. They let you down. That's what they happens there.
Hey, you can see on that traffic, though, that the battle for that second spot in the points has really closed up. It showed that Ross Chastain was only 5 points now behind Chase Briscoe for that second spot. So a lot to be gained there. Ross has a good, solid finish, and the 98 continues to fall. He's back in the 14th spot now.
You know, this 98 car is confusing me a little bit. Early in the year, he looked like he was going to take control and just completely dominate this year. And he's lost that. Yeah. They do not have the speed that they had early in the year. And I know they're concerned about it. They're not, you know, we've talked to them, and they're not just sitting there saying, hey, we're fine. They got to go to work. And this team is surprising me. They won a few weeks ago. There's no question this team is capable, but at the end of the day, they aren't running the way they're going to need to run to win this championship.
And Jeff, they know Richmond's certainly not one of their best racetracks, but they also know, to your point, their goal for the end of this regular season was to lead laps, run out front, show they can dominate races. They have absolutely struggled today, trying everything as he's about to get passed by Brandon Brown here and drop back to 15th. You see Richard Boswell there. They know that's their goal going into the playoffs. Now, the playoff tracks lay out very well for Chase Briscoe, but yes, they feel like they need to add a ton of speed. Richmond, again, not their best place, but they feel like they've got to get much better if they want to win the title this year.
Whoa, boy, he's running a line. Yeah. That dirt tracker in him's come out trying to figure out a better way to get around here. He's obviously frustrated with the pace. Kaz Gralla and Cindric battling for 8th up there. Cindric slipping back through the field.
Brown and Brown didn't like that crossover move. He put the bumper to him and wanted to.
He's kind of had a rebound of sorts throughout the day. Brandon Brown up in the top 15. He wasn't running very well at the start of the race. 98, I mean, that's not an absurd groove to be in. I've seen, you know, in some races here, teams' cars running that high in the turn. But that right there, I think, is what Brandon Brown is probably upset with. Didn't expect the 98 to be on the inside there, and they make a little contact. At 98, I'm with you, Jeff. I don't know. I can't put my, I can't figure this team out, figure out who they are. 6 wins this year, but dang, they've only won 1 race in the last 11. And, they certainly could turn it around at any moment. Go back to dominating this season, but Cindric has stepped up and sort of taken that role away from them.
Let's give a shout out though. Look at Matt Mills right there in that 5 car. They're back there running, he ran 14th, 15th, but look who they're racing. Right? I mean, passing a championship contending car. He did that last night. Was able to pass some Gibbs cars late in the race. Give these guys a shout out for being able to bring some speed to this racetrack and race against some really, really good race teams. Look how loose he is. Briscoe, that is, at 98.
Let's listen in on Noah Gragson and his team.
Yeah, it's really tight right now. Trying. Yeah, 10-4, man. Pucker up. Let's go.
Pucker up, let's go.
Oh, that's funny.
Exactly what you want to hear as a driver whenever you're kind of struggling right at the moment,
Yeah,
right?
well, I get it. I mean, Noah's giving him some feedback, but the crew chief was like, hey, man, hang in there. Stay fired up. Keep digging. 52 laps to go. A lot can happen.
Well, all these guys pitted and put tires on, and some didn't. And now it's really starting to show up, right? These guys that didn't put tires on that last stop, they're starting to fall back. Creating some good battles back here. Cindric still, I know he's being patient, but it's safer riding further ahead of that 18 car than letting that 18 car run you down. So I just don't think he has the pace.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think they're very happy with the race car right now. I understand being patient, but he is hanging on to 9th place.
Yeah, I expected them to make a better decision as far as the choice of changes that they made to be here this afternoon and run a little bit better. They had good speed last night, but they haven't shown any of that really today.
36 car right there, LeBay. Right in the middle of this battle. What a great run for that small team to be mixing it up with these big guys.
That's what's so great about short track racing. It equalizes a lot of things. You're not talking about the aerodynamics and a lot of things that go into that. And especially as you get laps on the tires, then it goes more into the driver's hands.
Well, the doubleheader here creates a lot of situations and tough challenges for the teams, and the driver sometimes pitches in to help the guys get the car ready for the next race. Justin Allgire, not afraid to do some work. Tomorrow in NBC, the IndyCar Series continues their doubleheader weekend from Mid-Ohio. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern. IndyCar race number 1 is today, following our Xfinity Series coverage on NBCSN. Back up front, Justin Allgire, Stage 1 winner, leads by almost 7 seconds. What a lead. Ross Chastain in second. Let's go through the field with Parker.
Well, Dale, it has been a dominant last night and today for Justin Allgaier. And I asked crew chief Jason Burnett, what makes him so good at places like this? He said, you know, it's when we don't have the car exactly right. Justin just knows how to manipulate that car to do the things that he wants to do. Well, guess what happens when you have the car right? Well, you have almost, or now it is, a 7-second lead on second place. Great run for the 7. Meanwhile, for Ross Chastain, trying to run him down, but unable to do so. He's been playing with the brakes inside that race car. If we ever get on the helmet cam and see him dropping his right hand down to the right, that's because he's actually working the levers, working the brake pads, trying to help that car on entry. He just has not been able to get that right rear underneath him. Chasing him down is Jeff Burton. That great run for him in the 8 car. I asked him, how many runs do you have in this car this year? He has 3 more. Martinsville, Bristol. He's very excited about that. He says the short track's his place. He feels like he can go out and run top 3 in this car anytime, and he's showing that here, Marty.
Parker, you would think a driver who came up on the short tracks in Indiana would love short track racing here in the Xfinity Series, but Justin Haley will admit, I was terrible at it for years, but Alex Jantz, his new crew chief, came on board about a year and a half ago, and they have been terrific at short track since. A little bit disappointing today. They had the best car last night, but right now, no forward drive off, struggling in 4th, Parker.
Behind him is Noah Gragson, who, when we came back from the pandemic break, was really fast, running up front, leading laps for the best car in the field. Since then, they've fallen off a little bit. I asked David Owens, what happened? He said, really? We just lost some speed to some of our competitors out there. We've got to go find it. He said this weekend was important for them to show that they can get back in the top 5. We're running 5th. I think he's showing that right now. Hot on his heels, Harrison Burton, the turnaround of the weekend, you have to say. From yesterday, finishing 16th to here, running just outside the top 5. Had one of the best cars in Stage 2. Right now, just biding his time, taking care of those tires and waiting for the go signal, Marty.
Parker, I tell you, a sneaky driver coming into the Xfinity Series playoffs. How about Michael Annett staring down what would be his 6th straight top 10 finish? Michael saying he can't just get the car to turn in the middle of the corner. That's his biggest issue, but this is a team building momentum at the right time of the year with one more regular season race left after today, Parker.
And Kaz Gralla behind him has to be one of the coolest stories of the year. Jumping in that 3 car, his first ever race in Cup at the Daytona Road Course, finishes in the top 10 and doing a great job in this 21 car for Richard Childress Racing. One of the most interesting things about Kaz is that he does all his own work on finding the sponsorship to go out and go racing. He said the only thing he's learned, though, as of late in his limited starts to these cars is the week leading up to a race, I put all the sponsorship stuff aside and I focus on simply being a race car driver and getting in race car driver mode. Does a great job of that, Marty.
Parker, Austin Cindric continues to fall through the field. Right now, he's in 9th, but still in a good position to win the regular season championship because Chase Briscoe, his rival for that, is falling further behind. He's back in 19th. So right now, Cindric where he needs to be, but the car not handling the way he wants. They asked him a moment ago, if we get a caution, what do you need? He said, a little bit everywhere, Parker.
And that has normally been the case for Brandon Jones at Richmond, but things are looking a little bit better here today in this hot, slick weather. You know, he won that race last week at Darlington, being the 3rd car, and then getting that win when Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain got together. And I asked Jeff Bennering, you know, it seems like you guys do that a lot. You're just hanging around. He said, we love it. We love being under the radar. We love entering the playoffs and maybe being a car that not many are thinking about because we don't have that pressure of having to succeed. And I think this 19 car is on a lot of people's minds as we head in these playoffs, and someone that might surprise and make a championship run.
Back up front, Justin Allgire still leads. He's grown the lead to 8 seconds, guys. And I think at this particular point, you know, everybody's used what they've used. I don't know that, you know, even with 30 to go, anyone's saved so much that they're willing to give up an 8-second lead. So it's basically without a caution, Allgire's race to lose. There's the lead right there. Chastain just now coming off of turn 2.
Allgire just has so much pace. Look at the line all these different guys are running. It's awesome. There's a lot of Cup drivers watching that too, right? Remember, this Cup race later today. First race back at Richmond with that low downforce package, which is very similar to the downforce these cars make, right? And we're seeing some of these cars toward the back start to move up the racetrack, trying to find something.
Yeah, this is a longer stage than 2 and 1, and so there is the potential for a tire issue throughout the field that could bring out that late yellow.
Yeah, you know, Goodyear does such a good job with these tires, though. They try to eliminate that problem for the teams and the drivers. I'm thinking of that. You see things happen early on when the track is pretty green. But I think these drivers understand what they have to deal with, and so many of them have been talking about just trying to save as much as they can here, knowing this stage and watching the last 2 races, the truck race and last night's race, that we could be in for another long run.
Yeah, Jack Knaus, crew chief for William Byron, watching Xfinity race, trying to learn anything he can, just be on him. Car owner Jimmy Means, watching his car go around the track, but Chad's certainly trying to understand what these guys are doing, how they're using the racetrack, the line that they're utilizing to make time on the old tires.
Michael Annette's finally gotten up on the outside of Noah Gragson. Michael's one of those drivers that has a little newer tire. Noah's still fighting, though. Not going to make it easy, nor is he supposed to.
No, Michael Annette's in a tough spot there. He wants to try that outside, I think. He knows that that might be a good spot for him to be, as he see. I believe Gragson saw that and trying to block that effort a little bit there. But he's got the 21 car right behind him, so he doesn't want to give that spot up as he tries to move forward.
Battle on the bottom there for guys that are racing right at the cut line. Always seem to find themselves together on the racetrack. Clements underneath the lap car of the 92. Brandon Brown has recovered his, and improved his race car. Fought back to get back into the top 15.
It's crazy. Not only do they find themselves together on the track, but it seems like when one has problem in a race and might make some ground, the other one has problems. So not only do they race together, but they have their issues together.
Well, one thing you got to remember is a lot of times we see accidents, wrecks, when the leader's coming. Well, guess what? These 2 guys are the next cars to get lapped. Justin Allgire not far behind them. There he is. That increases the intensity level. You do not want to get lapped right here. Got to try to find a little bit more in your car, and many times that's when you get your, oh!
18 car hard in the wall.
Going here, her yellow's out, stay in front of the 7 here.
Riley Herbst.
Right there was
Back
your
into the
point,
wall.
Jeff. That wasn't far in front of the leader coming.
Yeah. He was running 12th. Only 14 cars in the lead lap.
Let's take a look at the cause of this. He looks like he's off the gas early, down into the corner, comes across the nose of Brandon Brown. I don't know if Brandon was ready for that 18 car to come down across the track.
Yeah, that right there is
a hard hit for the back end of that car. Clements locking up the left front tire, trying to slow down. And just like the 18 really checked up for the entry to turn 1. And I think Brown and Clements were sort of occupied with their own battle, not anticipating that 18 car to slow up as much and cross the racetrack like he did.
Yeah, that was he made such a wide entry, you didn't expect him to get anywhere near the bottom lane.
Yeah. See the damage on Brandon Brown's car on the right front.
These 2 had a little bit of a get together last night during the race, I remember, on the back straightaway. You don't usually think those things carry over. Let's take a look at it. from last night, coming off turn 2. Brown comes down a little bit into the inside, or into the outside of the 18 car. Not sure what led up to that, whether that was a retaliatory move from the 68 car, but there was contact. And again, you don't expect those things to sort of create issues for the next day, but certainly might not cut that guy a break when he needs one. Cars coming to pit road. Your leader, Allgire. Everybody, I think, on the lead lap's coming down, Marty.
Well, everybody in the field except Justin Allgire wanted to see this caution. New life for Justin Haley, who was struggling back there. He said, I just need more drive off the corner. That's my biggest issue. They're going to come in 4 fresh Goodyear tires here to take them to the end. 19 to go when they pit. We'll see what happens on this next run to the checkered, Parker.
Right, Marty, and Ross Chastain was very excited to see this caution gets him on equal tires with the 7 Justin Allgire. Still fighting just a lack of rear grip in that 10 car. And as you mentioned, Justin Allgire the 17 with that huge lead, not excited on the radio to see this caution, but he'll still easily keep the lead coming off pit road.
Allgire easily wins the race off of pit road. Burton beats Chastain. Not many laps to go. A lot of great racing left here at Richmond. The Xfinity Series regular season will conclude Friday night at Bristol Motor Speedway, the final chance to clinch a spot in the playoffs. Coverage from Thunder Valley begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Let's get down to pit road. Parker.
Well, Dale, Justin Allgire won the race yesterday. He's led 118 laps here today, but this might be his toughest challenge yet with just a short run to the end on new tires. That 7-car strength has been that long run speed, building up that almost over 8-second lead on that last long run. Now he's going to have to find something in the short run. I asked Jason Burdett, did you do anything to it? He shook his head. He didn't. We'll see if he's got it, Marty.
And remember, Parker, Justin Haley felt like he had the best car in last night's race and did not come away with the win. And they have reminded him, hey, new ball game for us. We're back in the game. And remember, the 7 of Allgire struggles on short runs. In fact, so does the 8. And you're better than your teammate, Ross Chastain, as well. They've challenged Justin Haley to go for it. I expect the young man to be quite aggressive on this final run to the checkered.
So it's going to be a quick, short run to the finish, guys. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm concerned for Justin Allgire in the 7 car because, you know, I haven't seen them yet this weekend in either race, DJ, be in the position to have to take off with speed. And they have intentionally gone a little bit easy, not pushed their car early. Is that going to work against them right here? Only time will tell, but I'm concerned for them.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things. You can find yourself overdriving the car, and that usually happens trying to get too much out of it, getting into the corner. You overdrive, slide up, somebody gets underneath. The other thing is trying not to do that, and you get run into from behind by one of these drivers, like a Ross Chastain, that really needs a win.
You also have Jeff Burton up there, too. I mean, there's some guys up there that would really love to win, not worried about the playoffs or anything, just their own futures.
You mentioned Jeb. Think about how, remember a little while ago, he took off on that restart. Yeah. He was exceptionally fast.
Yeah, how far you think he's going to drive down into turn one on that outside?
He's not going to drive in too easy. I can guarantee you that.
You know, Chastain's going to be looking for an opportunity to take it 3 wide if he can. He's done it before. Very aggressive on the restarts. Whose car will have that short run blast of speed? Pace car. Pace car staying out. Lights are staying on. The lineup not correct throughout the field. NASCAR is going to make sure that these guys are in the proper positions.
Come on,
I can't understand how the lineup could be incorrect if there's a choose rule, right?
Yeah.
But NASCAR's now deemed it correct. Lights are off on the pace car.
Remember back earlier in the race when Allgire was in this position, he either spun the tires or had a difficult time in getting changing gears from second to third there.
Yeah, you remember that restart where Justin didn't have the greatest of takeoffs with Noah Gragson on the outside. He struggled. Later today on NBC SN IndyCar Series, pre-race is next. Mid-Ohio race number 1 at 5. Countdown to green, 7 o'clock, 7:30. We got Cup action here at Richmond. And then 11 o'clock p.m., NASCAR America post-race show. Got you covered. Now we're coming to the green.
Look at Allgire, how far up the racetrack he is.
Pace car hits the pit road. Flagman waves the green flag. We're underway again.
Great start by Jeb on that outside lane. Chastain on the bottom blocking.
Off turn 2, our guy's clear. Jeb to the inside though. Has the momentum on the high side.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult when you're racing somebody that you're not used and accustomed to racing with, that being Jeb Burton. What's he going to do in this situation if you're Allgire?
Chastain back there, you know how hungry he is. No wins this year so far. Look at Michael Annett on the outside. Couldn't quite make it work.
No, but Harrison Burton making a good move there on the inside to get himself up in that 4th spot.
Three wide.
You have to imagine that they're going to get more and more aggressive up front. Obviously, back here in the back, there's a lot of aggression. Good contact, good hard short track racing. But up front, the top 4, the top 5, all nose to tail.
Sorry for Justin Allgire was he may not have good takeoff speed, but a really good job on that restart. And he's put some gap between he and Jeb.
Chastain right on the back bumper of this 8 car.
Jeb's going to have to be on it. He's going to have to be perfect. If not, Chastain will be there to take it.
When does Chastain use the bumper? When does he get aggressive? I think to move, you're going to have to move the guy up off the bottom. You're not going to pass him on the top. With these new tires, you're might have to use that bumper a little bit if you can get there. Burton driving away a little bit. Down the back straightaway. Into turn 3.
Go at the line.
Coming to 8 to go.
GJ, you said it a little while ago. This is so hard right here to not overdrive your car. You know the laps are ticking off. You know you got to get it all, but if you get too much, it actually hurts you. Chastain driving deep in the corner, trying to get Jeb a little loose right there. Got a little bit of a run.
Oh, Jeb was spinning the tires off that corner all the way up onto the straightaway.
Jeb, great job right there, leaving really low, not giving Chastain anywhere to go.
Yeah, Chastain did not get off the corner really well there. Rolled the center a little bit too much, got a little greedy. Hurt him on the exit. The 20 car working his way into this battle with Chastain and Burton.
And that'll make it difficult on Chastain.
2 Burtons in the top 4.
Chastain now has to worry about somebody coming from behind. That limits your options on what you can do as he tries to get by Jeb.
Next time by, will be 5 laps to go.
Yeah, this is his chance right here, is to get down and put the bumper to Jeb. You don't want to see him spin him, but just get him a little bit up out of the groove where you can take advantage of that. He's a little bit better on the exit of 2 than what Jeb is, but Jeb does a nice job right there.
Chastain did a great job as well, really opened up the entry to turn 3. And that got him off of turn 4 a little lower, a little straighter, improved the drive off.
Golly. Jeb's doing such a nice job of not leaving the bottom on corner exit. He enters a little bit high, but right here, left side's on that yellow line, giving Chastain nowhere to go. New tires, you just can't make the outside work. Jeb knows that, Chastain knows that.
Oh, look at Chastain. Really narrowed up the entry to 1, really going aggressively into the corner, trying to make time.
Giving Jeb something to look at, giving something to think about.
Yeah, he pulled out there to where he might get out of his mirror shot there just a little bit to make him think that he was making a move here as Harrison Burton is making a move.
Yeah, he may be on the defense now, trying to keep that 20 car behind him. Parker.
Guys, and look what they're running into up ahead. You see Justin Allgire getting into it. Now Jeb, traffic team. The 8 team's reminding Jeb, just hold them off till you get to the traffic. Then it becomes who gets through there quickest. Looks like he's got a little gap on Ross.
Yeah, a lot of these guys took the wave around. They did not. They just stayed on the racetrack, so they're on really old tires. They're going to be really slow. You have to really navigate and do a great job of getting through these guys. Look how much slower they are.
The 7 car is gone. I am shocked by how he's been able to drive away. We wondered about the short run speed.
Well, he hasn't had to show if he had it or not. And that's the thing. It looks like that he had it if it was needed. As we see Ross Chastain trying to go to the high side here to get this second spot.
Justin Allgire sees the white flag. Presented to you by Credit One Bank. Comfortable lead for the 7 car of Justin Allgire down into turn 3. Came into this race with only 13 playoff points. He's going to leave Richmond with 25. Justin Allgire sweeps the weekend at Richmond.
Yeah, bro, great job, Andy. Thank you. Yeah, boys.
That's an impressive weekend by that race team and driver.
Man, thank you guys so much. I guess today I get to do a burnout, huh?
In 2 days of racing, he doubled his points going into the playoffs. A huge weekend for Justin Allgire.
Been an up and down year for these guys. The wins weren't there, but in the last couple of weeks, they put a few on the board. And knew they had a great race car. We never got to see just how good it was on the short run until the end of this race here. It was fabulous. Now he can really be aggressive with his burnout. Yesterday he needed to save this car just a little bit for today's race, but getting lost in the smoke today.
Months ago, we were wondering if Justin Allgire could make a run at these playoffs. He's so good at Phoenix. Everybody points to him. If he can get to Phoenix with a chance to win a championship, he would be the favorite going into there.
Yeah.
We didn't think, a lot of us didn't think he could get there. The wins weren't there, the stage ends weren't there. Nothing was there that seemed to tell you that this was a championship contender. Well, the tide has turned. Justin Allgire doing a great job.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember that Zoom call that we had with him. Probably the first 8 to 10 minutes. I was wondering, just how bad it was for him, because he was talking about this goes all the way back to 2018. We can't have anything to go right. And was he going to mentally be in a place that could help his race team overcome this? They have done that. They've turned things around, and he certainly now has put himself in that position as being one of the championship 4 favorites.
Absolutely. We wondered who the other 2 would be between Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe, and it's looking more and more likely that the 17 is peaking at the right time of the year.
This weekend, also, he now passed Cindric. He has led the most laps in 2020. I wouldn't have given you, I'd have lost that bet. In March, April, May, I'd have lost that bet that this team would be out leading that many laps.
Getting a little congratulation from a team member. Let's take a look at the playoff standings after today's event. Justin Allgire sitting there in third. Like you said, Burton, he doubled those points, those playoff points that'll carry yourself deep into the playoffs. They'll come in handy, and they've been there before for Justin. He knows how valuable those are.
You see back here that Ross Chastain, although he's been very consistent, he's going to get some points because of where he finishes in the regular season. That's going to help his playoff point standings. He has 2 stage wins, but no win so far. Brandon Brown still has that 49-point lead over Jeremy Clemens for that 12th spot.
Yeah, the only spot left open now is Riley Herbst and Ryan Sieg were able to lock themselves in.
Well, let's go down to victory lane. Talk to our winner, Parker Kligerman.
Right, guys, Justin Allgire's pulled it into victory lane. We got to get him out of the car here. Doesn't want to leave this thing. Why would you want to leave something this fast that they've had the last two races? Justin, I know you had a great car in the long run, but were you a little worried there, that late caution, of what you would have on the short run to hold off these other guys?
More than Parker. I knew how good our car was all day, and just hats off to Brand Fresh Ride Culture. It seems like here lately we haven't been able to get them to victory lane, and it's not for lack of effort. And I know Rick and Christy and Sierra, they're all watching today from Tampa, and we caused a party today, man. I knew at the end there, I knew we had speed. I knew when you needed to go, we could, and I just didn't know how fast, and my teammate Jeb Burton did a fantastic job today on that last restart, and I'm just proud of these guys. I put us behind the 8 ball. They had to change the nose last night. I stayed here until the garage closed with them and just tried to help them get it all fixed, and the amount of effort and time that's gone into this weekend is really special. So Harper, Ashley, thanks for watching at home, babies, and I can't wait to get home and give you guys a big hug with 2 trophies, and everybody that works on this car, the pit crew today, Eddie DeHaan, my spotter, all of our partners, Brant, Hellman, Suave, Klondike Bar, Exalta, Chevrolet, our partner Chevrolet, Hedrick Engine Department, all of my sponsors, Off-Axis Paint, Around Helmets, Specialized, Arma, Fractal Design, everybody that is a part of this deal is just, man, it's really special, Parker.
A picture-perfect weekend for Justin Allgire on this 7 team. What a performance, guys.
Justin Allgire sweeps the weekend here at Richmond. Krista, Kyle, and Brad will have more post-race coverage after the break.